Yo, 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 welcome back to another episode of On the Spot Sports. And before we get to our guest today, we have a big shout out for Living Sisu. Living Sisu is a platform and app that wants to give you all the tools to have success in your sport. Their main objective is to activate your lifestyle. It's for active people. Enjoy discounts at companies like BioSteel, 30% off, Body Logics, the Goalie Guild, all his books are discounted. Roan, Lululemon for men, 20% off. Online stretching programs with Eccentrics, 1 full month free. They got super silent massage guns, 20% off those. And it's a great quality. It's way less expensive than a Theragun, and it's great quality. So there's so many more discounts that you guys will need to just become a member to see. So they want to provide you with anything you need for success. So come join the community. I'm a part of it. A bunch of other athletes are a part of it. So it's free to join. It takes 20 seconds to get exclusive offers to your sport, and it's definitely worth it. So do us a huge favor and go sign up for Living Sisu's membership. It's free, 20 takes 20 seconds. So go do it, and we'll see you there. Living Sisu is a great company. We know one of the co-founders, Zach Fricali. He's a great guy. He's the co-founder. He does a lot of live streams on Instagram at Living Sisu, with a bunch of elite athletes, and you learn a lot from like the athletes' determination, their resiliency, everything to what made them become successful. So it's been a great experience so far. So go on. I'm gonna leave the link in the description. So go sign up. Yo, welcome back to another episode of On the Spot Sports. This will be episode 99 of On the Spot Sports, so we're getting close to episode 100. But in this episode, we have a very special guest. We have current professional baseball player Brennen Davis. Brennen currently is an outfielder in the Chicago Cubs organization, most recently with the South Bend Cubs in the Midwest League. So it's great to have you on, Brennen. So welcome to the show, Brennen Davis.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. So how have you been? Like, what are you doing right now since, like, it's a more of a down period for you? What have you been doing? Training? Have you been training, working out? Like, what's the scoop?
Yeah, the scoop. I'll fill you in. It's kind of my, get strong period, work on some mechanical stuff with my hitting. Probably hitting once, maybe twice a week, but I'm really pushing hard in the weight room, trying to make myself the best athlete I can be going into the 2021 season.
Yeah, that's awesome. So like this summer, like what were you doing? Like I know we just talked about this one before we were on, but like for the viewers that don't know where you were, so what were you doing when the MLB season was going on? Because you were in an alternate site, right?
Yeah, I was at Site B for the Cubs, and that was at Four Winds Fields in South Bend. So I was in South Bend, Indiana again. 2 years there, kind of not the best. Not the best to go back to the same place you were, but it was okay because it was for the alternate site. But I was hitting every day, training every day, lifting a few times a week, working with our coordinators, taking live ABs off of really high-end pitchers and guys who have been there or close to being there. And I don't know, just working on anything and everything that you could to improve your game. And to be around that kind of competition day in and day out was, I think, the best thing for my development at this stage.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you guys do like scrimmages at all, or was it just training sessions mostly?
So it was kind of tough because like the clubs were able to bring whoever they wanted. So there was like 18 pitchers at our site, and there was like 8 position players at the most. So we didn't have enough guys to really run like inter squads, but we had a ton of arms, so I got a lot of ABs.
That's the most important. It's just at bats at that point, just getting as many reps as you can. So that's at least good that you're able to get reps in and just work on your swing, work on your power and like everything that goes into hitting.
Yeah, I agree. It was awesome.
Yeah, so like what goes into hitting, especially during like these training sessions when like you're not playing inter squad games or scrimmaging? I would assume that it would get really hard to stay motivated. So like what helped you stay motivated and like what went into all these training sessions?
I don't think it was the motivation that was tough. The toughest part for me was distinguishing between going up to an at bat and competing, or going up to an at bat trying to work on something. Because like in season, you have to not worry about, but like there's always the looming aspect of your stats, and you want to do well and all that. So you go up there and you compete and you get the job done.
Yeah, for
Well, when you're trying to make adjustments and you're trying to make yourself better, when there's no stats and it's just practice, technically, do you go up there trying to work on mechanical stuff, swing stuff, like approach, like, or do you just, so that was kind of my biggest uh, mental battle, I would say, was distinguishing between those two and kind of finding the happy medium of working on something and competing. But other than
yeah,
that, it wasn't hard to be motivated because baseball is what I want to do, and I'll do whatever it takes to get there.
yeah, exactly. And when you said to find that medium, would you? Yeah, I know you're out there 2 times. You said earlier, so would you just like work on one thing one day, then the other thing then the next day, or would it just depend on like how you're feeling and what you decide to work on for that time?
It was kind of like if I knew there needed to be a change, then I would kind of try to focus on that and try to take it to my ABs. But once I felt good with where I was at, I went back to compete mode and trying to take ABs as like it was a regular season.
Yeah, absolutely. So like, what was like the most fun thing that you did during at Site B that you wouldn't have done like in a normal season?
Uh, well, I mean, we got to take BP with big league balls, so I mean that was fun.
Yeah. Like,
So,
what was the farthest ball you hit during that cycle?
BP or in game?
BP.
I mean, big league balls, wind blowing out one day. I probably cleared the batter's eye by a good 5-10 feet.
It's
I
not
just
bad. It's pretty good.
like makes you feel like a man.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's like during the or spring, you did get a partial spring training in this season, right?
I got a few games with the big league team.
Yeah, so like how is that? Like that must have been a really cool experience to be a part of and everything, which is being part of the big club.
It was an awesome experience just to be around those guys and be able to pick their brains and be in that kind of atmosphere. Is just you can't really ask for anything better. I
Yeah,
mean, that's what you dream about, being around those kind of guys, and you want to be able to call those guys your peers one day. So you got to start somewhere. So it was a good experience. I'm glad I got to go and kind of dip my toe in the water, and hopefully that's the beginning of a long stint with them.
yeah, for sure. Hopefully you're gonna get that chance soon and just be able to ride it out. But like how special was it to wear the Cubs uniform during that stretch and just the emotions like throughout the games that you actually did play with the big club for your
Yeah,
first time experiencing that?
I actually got to wear the pins, dress up, go be with the big club in at Wrigley during their summer camp for a few games. So I mean, it's like you're debuting, kind of. It's a weird feeling being able to run out on the Wrigley's field and run around the outfield and step in the batter's box and be this is what you dream about as a kid, and to be there and be around all those guys, and even though there's no fans, it doesn't matter because you're just amped up. I mean, you shouldn't have as much adrenaline as I probably did with no fans, but it's hard to control. It's it's surreal, honestly.
Yeah, that's awesome. You got the chance to do that, but like how like you said that was like you shouldn't have it that much adrenaline with no fans, but like what was it like without fans and not being able to like see any fans in the crowd or like have like that atmosphere that you would in like a normal MLB baseball stadium?
Yeah, well, you can definitely feel like not lack of intensity, but like it feels like practice a little bit. Every day at Site B kind of felt like practice. You didn't really get the, oh, it's game time feel. we would have like crowd noise playing and stuff, but it's
A
not the
lot
same.
different.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah,
That
for sure.
just isn't, and everybody knows that. But the big thing this year was being able to create your own energy and keep your teammates up and cheer for your guys, and your voice was a big part of success this year.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, how would you amp up your team and throughout that time and just have your voice be heard and help get the boys going?
I mean, everybody was rooting for everybody because we're all teammates, but it's kind of like position players versus pitchers because we're trying to beat them. So, I mean, success or failure, you pick your teammate up or you cheer for your teammate, make sure your voice is heard, kind of, because nobody else is doing it.
Yeah, 100% agree with you there. And it's all about team atmosphere at that point and just making sure that everyone's there for each other, even though like the atmosphere isn't really there like a normal season. Just having everyone say something, just cheer for your team. Like that's all that really matters at that point.
Yeah, that's exactly how it kind of went.
Yeah, for sure. So then you were drafted right out of high school from your high school in Arizona, and you were drafted 62nd the 2018 MLB first year player draft. So what was that experience like in being drafted by the Chicago Cubs?
Whew. I mean, to be drafted out of high school is just baseball is the only sport that you can do it in. So I don't know. It's crazy because like everybody around me was going to college and I was going to play professional baseball and kind of starting my life a little earlier than expected. And I'm so blessed for the opportunity and just happy that the Cubs took a chance on me. And I don't know, the whole draft day thing was crazy and you never know what's going to happen. So, I mean, taking a step back and looking back at it, I don't regret any decisions I made. I think I made the best decision for me. And that's all that really matters is being content with your decision. And to be drafted by a historic organization like the Cubs, like Wrigley Field just got pronounced a landmark. Like that's crazy. To be able to have the opportunity to play baseball at a landmark that's just awesome.
Yeah, for real, and just the history around the team, the field, Wrigley Field, and them winning a championship 4 years ago, like everything coming together for the Cubs and just at the right time, and like just like you said, like having no regrets, like that's all you can ask for as a human being. Just regret nothing that you do and just go with whatever you feel is right, especially when like you said you were drafted right out of high school, so you could have been going playing college ball, but instead you went to play pro baseball and you haven't looked behind you since.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so then in 2018 you played and made your pro debut in the Arizona League playing for the Cubs too. So like what was the transition like from playing high school ball to going right into the Arizona League?
Guys throw hard. uh, when you're playing high school ball, I think I faced one guy who threw 91, maybe 90, 91. Not to say that I didn't play in a competitive league in Arizona. I played in the highest division in Arizona. Guys just don't throw hard everywhere. And then you go to the AZL and you get kids from all over the place, Latin players, all this throwing 96 plus at the age of 18. And you're like, wow, got to start a little earlier.
Right when the ball releases.
Yeah. I think the first adjustment was velo. Spin never really bothered me that much because early guys can't really command it, or if they do throw it, then it's probably going to pop. But I mean, guys moving up got a lot better. They can command their off speed. They can hide it a lot better. They sequence it a lot better, all that kind of stuff. But my first year was kind of just like being on time and I don't know, just impacting the baseball. I didn't really hit a lot of balls that hard, but I've made a lot of contact. So moving forward, my goal was to impact more baseballs, and I think I did that in the 2019 season. So
yeah, for sure.
being able to make the adjustment is kind of my biggest thing.
Yeah, I can just imagine you going up as an 18-year-old and guys blowing it past you, and you're like, oh shit, that's like 96, 97. and like how like hard these guys are throwing and stuff like that. So was it hard being one of the younger guys, if not the youngest in the Arizona League when you first came in?
I was mentally ready to be around that, and I see myself as a more mature guy. So it wasn't like I was like out of my element being around older guys. It was more I wanted to do well in front of them. So that was kind of more. I don't really know how to say that. Like it was just kind of like, oh, I want to show my new teammates like I deserve to be picked where I was. And I mean, that's just an ego thing. And I've learned to let go of that. But when you're freshly drafted out of high school, you're like, I want to be that guy. And I don't know, you go out there and all you can do is the best that you can do. And you know, your teammates have your back and will support you through all of it.
Yeah, for sure. So was that one of the biggest things you learned as you transitioned in the pro ball lifestyle and being a pro is just the ego side of it, and not being too high or too low on yourself and just having that medium where it's like
Yeah.
totally like calm?
Yeah. I feel like there's too many guys that ride out the highs too long or ride down in the lows too low. I'm definitely hard on myself. So I do understand it, but I also don't like to bring it home with me. So like if I'm mad, I try to leave it at the ballpark, and that's what you have to do with baseball because there's so many games, there's so much failure, and the best guys are the ones who can forget what they did the day before and do something new that day.
Yeah, 100%. Just leaving it at home, just not letting it get too get too high or low on you is just key to like having a good mindset and just being able to let it go and then just come back to the field the next day and have a whole different mindset and just try to do whatever you can to help yourself succeed and be even better than the day before.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then you played 18 games in rookie ball with a 298 batting average with 17 hits and 57 at bats. It's like, what do you think helped you be so successful in riding a 300 batting average and help yourself exceed your first year of pro ball?
My first year pro ball was such a up and down season. looking back at it, I thought that like, oh, my average matters so much. Like, well, like it does because it goes on your rookie card or people like stuff like that people care about, and I care about doing well too. But looking back at it, nobody cared what you did in the AZL. Nobody cared about how many doubles, triples, home runs you hit because you're 18, fresh out of high school. People just wanted to see you out there competing and seeing what you had, what kind of stuff you had. So, I mean, success, I was hitting probably 210 at one point, and since I played 18 games, I was able to get it back up because I didn't have a lot of at bats under my belt, so I got hot towards the end. I was like, I need to get this back. My ego.
Hey, that and you got it back, and even though you played 18 games, as long as the average keeps going up, that's all that matters.
That's what I'm saying. And I do have to say that I was 1 for 3 on a game that got rained out, so I hit 300. So it's not going to say in the stat book, but it
But
says.
hey, your mind has it covered, so that's all that matters.
Yeah. So in
And
case anybody about my rookie ball stats.
And so then the following season, you got promoted to the Midwest League for the South Bend Cubs. And it's like, what was getting promoted like and just playing single A ball compared to rookie ball in the AZL League?
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy. I only got promoted because somebody got hurt. I was supposed to go to short season. I started the year in extended spring training. And let me tell you, extended spring training is not where you want to be. It is a mental grind. But I took advantage of my opportunity, and I ended up staying in low A, and I ended up having a good year. So I mean, I couldn't ask for a better result.
Yeah, and you hit 8 homers that season. So like, what was it like when you hit your first homer out of the park?
Yeah, it felt pretty good. I mean, it's just shows where I'd come as a hitter. Because before that, I mean, my year before that, I think I had one double out of 18 hits, and I had a lot more extra base hits this year. So, I mean, I think that's a testament to getting stronger and my body maturing and developing a better approach and being mentally strong. And just there's a lot of variables that go into it, but I don't know. I was happy with where I was at, and I was able to have some success at that level.
Yeah, first homer, no big deal. Just out there grinding, hitting away, and just hitting some bombs. So that's all that the stats care about is the home runs.
Yeah, I mean that's true. Everybody's like, "Oh, what's his OPS?"
Uh, everyone's always wondering that.
Yeah.
So like throughout like the ups and downs that you face the year prior, like what did that like help you be a lot more successful the following year compared to like knowing how to face the adversity you did and just trying to get better and trying to outwork yourself every day?
Yeah, I mean, I was able to experience failure and be able to take a step back and really evaluate myself as a player and what I needed to do to improve. So there's little experiences throughout all the stepping stones in baseball, and you'll never make it to the top without them. So
Yeah,
you can't really skip steps because there's experiences that you're either going to learn in the minor leagues or when you get to the big leagues. So I think there's
exactly.
probably 3% of guys in the big leagues that don't struggle, but the other 97% struggle. And it's just being able to withstand it and not crumble under the pressure.
Exactly. And just the process and the grind that it takes to become a professional baseball player is is magnificent. You just got to keep working day in and day out, and that's what you did to get where you are. So it's not worth pondering about like why you're failing and why is it happening to me. Just got to keep yourself keep getting better for yourself and for those around you, and just helping your team win some games.
Mm-hmm. I think that's exactly right.
Yeah. So then you did face some time on the IR and had to miss a portion of last season after getting hit in the index finger twice. So like, what was your mindset when you were on the IR for 7 days at first, and you came back, and then just to re-injure your finger?
I came back and I was doing well too. It stunk. Um, it was hard because like first time my fault. I tried to bunt and my bunting form was just bad. Second time, a two-seam fastball ran up in on my hands and I didn't pull back. So I mean, just the fluke incident of hitting my index finger twice is just hard to comprehend, and to be out for something so small for so long stunk too, because it was like totally healthy except my index finger, and it wasn't broken. My nail just fell off, so I had like an
Oh,
exposed wound, and I couldn't play with that.
dang!
So
Something so small causes a big thing.
yeah, that, well, I was very grateful to not break a bone because I definitely could, and that would have sucked even worse. But I don't know. I just had to keep myself mentally strong and ready to go because I wanted to help myself, or I didn't help myself. I wanted to help my team uh, through the playoff run, and I came back and was ready to go. And I thought I did everything I could to help the team win.
Yeah, it's like, what'd you do to help yourself recover? Or was it just like something like just like wait for your nail to get back on or
It
grow
was just,
back?
it was just time. My nail didn't grow back for like 5 months completely. It was just like it had to heal, I guess. I don't really know. But in the meantime, I stayed tracking bullpens and trying to stay sharp. Went and shagged BP every day. Tried to keep my routes sharp to a certain extent, and just did what I could to really be mentally locked in when my time came.
Yeah, for sure. That's all you can do at that point. But then you come back to just in time for South Bend's playoff run. So how much fun was that playoff run and getting to be part of playoff baseball?
Oh man, it was awesome. Just the thing people don't really realize about minor league baseball is everybody loves each other that you're on the team with, but at the end of the day, trying to you're trying to win positions. So I mean, it's kind of like a love-hate relationship because you love all your guys you're around, but you can kind of feel the animosity when people do, or like if you do well and somebody's like, there's guys who are definitely genuinely happy for you, but then there's definitely guys who are like, dang, I wish that was me. But in the playoffs, it felt like I was playing college baseball. I don't even know what college baseball feels like, but it was just like it felt like I was a lot closer with everybody. Everybody had a single goal. They weren't being selfish for that bats. Everybody genuinely wanted the team to win. And that was just awesome to be a part of. And I feel like that's the kind of atmosphere that the big leagues kind of will like produce because everybody wants to win. And minor leagues, you kind of get those guys who are selfish and they just want to get their hits or not make any errors and stuff like that, or they don't want to see somebody do better than them. But being around guys who are selfless and want the collective goal to win is really what makes baseball the great game it is.
Yeah, for sure. And just playoffs in general is just really fun to watch. It's a whole different ball game from the regular season, and like just like going back to the competitive edge that like for the players, like everyone's trying to take everyone's job. Like, yeah, your teammates and you still love each other, but like you're still fighting for those jobs and fighting for playing time. So brings that
Yeah.
competitive edge for sure.
Yeah.
You are one of the youngest top prospects in the Cubs organization, though. So like, does that set a pressure on you that you have to be the best at all time, or are you taking it like one step at a time?
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy that I'm at the place that I'm at this age and to have this kind of experience at this young age. Because in reality, if I went to college, I would still be in college right now. So, I mean, it's crazy to think about, but having matured as a baseball player a little bit, it's not really the pressure of ranking or anything like that. It's kind of just what I need to be the best player I can be, because the ranking doesn't matter. What other people think about you doesn't matter. It's what you can do to be the best player you can be, and having the Cubs have a need to put you in the lineup or put you in the field and just filling the holes that are needed for the team and being able to get the job done.
Yeah, exactly. Like you couldn't have said it better. And just so like I have a few more questions for you before we get this thing done with. So like I read that you include some mental cues in your training to continue to stay focused on your approach. Like what are some of those mental cues that you use to stay on the right track?
um, there are a few like swing mechanic things that I like to remind myself, because like sometimes you just go up there and you're like, you want to be loose and stuff, but you forget what gets you on the right track. So like sometimes I sacrifice power for contact. So I'm like, when I walk up there, I think to myself, swing hard, because my hand eye is pretty good. So I just have to remind myself I need to let it go, let it fly, and really get my swing off, because I tend to have a lot of weak contact if I don't remind myself to really let it go. Or like if I'm feeling down on myself, like if I'm in a little rut or something, I remind myself that I hit. That's what I do. I go up there and I hit. You see ball, hit ball. It's not a hard game. And you just
Just
remind yourself of some of the stuff that got you to where you are now. So
yeah,
kind of my
exactly. Yeah, those are some great mental cues that you use, and just I like the one where you just gotta see the ball, hit the ball. It's not. It's pretty simple when you put it like that, but it's it's really not that simple. But it's
it's really
but it's I definitely like that mindset and that approach for sure.
appreciate it.
Yeah. So my final question for you for the day is, what are some tips for baseball players that you'd give looking to get to that next level?
Um, my biggest advice, like high school guys or middle school guys that are like at showcases or at all these different events, and even just playing high school or little league, or not little league, you're not looking to get recruited out of little league, like playing high school or club ball. You never know who's watching you. So there's a lot of instances where I've been around guys that have influence in the baseball world and have recognized me hustling on and off the field, doing the little things right and all that. And I had no idea who they were, and I had no expectation to get noticed. But you want to play the game the right way, and people notice when you do. And that's the intangible stuff that you can't be taught. So not you don't have to be the most skilled, the most blessed, physically blessed. You just have to play the game the right way, and you can be taught the other stuff.
Yeah, that's some great advice that you're giving there, and just you're speaking straight facts. So that's all that we ask for on this podcast is just straight facts and the experiences you've learned. But Brennan, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate your time. I want to wish you the best of luck going forward, and hopefully we see you in a Cubs full-time uniform soon.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, no problem.